Well, welcome everybody back to the Flying Doghouse. We are at Kitty Hawk First Flight, and we are going to go from 350 knots to about 40 knots. So we're going to take a look at SAL 1800s Cessna 180 Backcountry, right? So this is a short takeoff and landing aircraft that's available for free over on flightsim.to. This one's been out for about 8 months. But as we know, the universe of Microsoft Flight Simulator is quite broad. Can't try, fly, and show off everything all at once. So we're going to take a peek at this aircraft. It's a lot of fun, and got some observations about it too. So, any rate, Sal has several other freeware aircraft out on flightsim.to. I would invite you to check those out. Not going to spend a whole lot of time on the ground, but wanted to give you a good overview of aircraft and what it looks like, how it sits and fits on the ground. So one of the things that I have noticed is the tires sometimes do funny things, but that's a nitpick. At any rate, let's go ahead and jump in the aircraft and we'll get it started and we'll be on our way. Okay, so we're in the captain's chair here. Not going to spend a whole lot of time on the cockpit, but do want to give you a quick overview. Full of all that good vintage charm. Really like the yoke display, the way it displays. It's that handled vintage look and feel here. Let's go ahead and hide that over here. And then you're going to see vintage pull knobs for the some of the controls on the panel. One of the things that I did take note of when I was taking a peek at this aircraft is some folks were complaining about the fuel selector not working and therefore not being able to do a cold and dark start. Well, it actually does work. It just works a little bit differently than some of the other things that you've seen in the sim. So this has got click points. So instead of using the mouse to drag this around, if I click here, it will move the dial. If I click up above both, it's going to move the dial. So there you go. I think we'll leave that at that. So the short answer to this long response is it's not broken. It works just fine. Okay, so we'll pull the battery on. Avionics can come on. I wholeheartedly recommend you set up custom cameras. I'm using, again, chase plane, so get the aircraft started here. So there you go. There's your startup procedure. Pretty doggone quick. And we'll cut the navigation lights on. And we'll cut the beacon on. And we're getting ready to taxi here in a minute, so we'll go ahead and cut those on too. And we'll run the engine up a little bit. Engine noises are a little bit quiet in my opinion in the cockpit, but that's just me. Run it up to about 1800 RPM here. Anyway, very much analog, so full of that kind of charm. This is a taildragger, so I guess disclaimer on this would be take care in terms of your taxi speed. And also it's going to be pretty sensitive in terms of what it's going to expect from you in terms of your takeoff rollout and then your landing. So landing this aircraft is going to take a little bit of practice. So if you're not familiar with taildraggers, this one's going to probably need for you to put in some circuits. At any rate, I think we're good to taxi, so to save a little bit of video time, I will be right back, and we will meet you at the end of the runway, and we'll go ahead and get our takeoff. But we'll be right back. Okay, we're ready to go ahead and start our takeoff roll here from runway 3. So to that end, let's go ahead and get going. And while we're doing that, so I guess the one thing I did definitely want to mention about the aircraft is it is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 native, right? So keep that in mind as we go. Going to climb out here and make our way over to Manteo. So no surprises with that. It is very sensitive on the ground in terms of potential tail loop, right? So be careful with that. It's going to take some practice with your takeoffs and landings in this particular aircraft. So it's got those big 29-inch Tundra tires. I haven't tried the float kit. We're using the big tire model for today. It is very much balanced for slow flight. So I think you're going to enjoy that for your backcountry bush flying. Certainly, that's what this is really meant to drive to. It does have cargo ready interior and a belly pod that you can utilize here. But I think most folks are probably going to use this for backcountry kinds of strip hunting, etc. And then you can have fun with the float variant too. So some folks have reported, relatively violent roll axis vibration. And I think the dev was still in the process of looking at that. I'm not sure that has been fixed. And from time to time, the gear can also sink into the ground, and that has been reported as well. So I guess after we experience the Vertigo's insanity, this is a good change of pace, and it's slow down and get dirty kind of flying going on with this particular aircraft. So at any rate, I do definitely think that you're going to enjoy it. We'll be making our way over to Manteo, so we're making our turn. We can see the airfield here out into the distance. A stutter there. All right, we'll get ourselves situated here. So get our airspeed managed. The documentation recommends somewhere between 55 and 60 on approach. I find that to be a little too fast. And you're also going to need to take some care once you get touchdown with your main wheels. Then some back pressure on the back of the stick, and once you bleed off some airspeed, is going to help that tail wheel stick to the ground, and then you're less likely to the ground loop. So we'll see how well prepared we are here for our landing over here at Manteo. I have found that keeping it somewhere between 45 and 50 with the stall horn just chirping just slightly has been effective for me, but your mileage may vary. I think there are going to be lots of spaces and places where this aircraft is going to continue to get used. Again, I mentioned the aircraft has been out for, I think, about 8 months or so. And that's one of the interesting things about the flight sim ecosystem, right? Is it's so broad. There's so many things. You can't look at everything at once or showcase everything all at once. It's just too much of it. At any rate, been spending some quality time over on flightsim.to these days, so this one caught my eye, and I had not downloaded it and given it a fly, so here we are. Let me know in the comments on the video below what other Freeware aircraft you would be interested in seeing on the channel. Love to hear your thoughts on that. We've done several in a row. And I've got some payware things that are lined up in terms of scenery and also with aircraft, and we'll just make our way. All right, let's get some flap here. And I also have found with tail draggers of this ilk, it's a nice flat fly down parallel to the runway approach. Works typically for me. We're going to focus on putting it down here. So. Quite enough back pressure on the stick, but that's not bad. A little bit more wiggly than I would have liked, but we've successfully put her down here at Manteo. Again, I think you're really going to enjoy the aircraft. We'll turn here. And we'll get the park and brake out here in just a sec. It's need to be careful with the braking. It will also nose over on you as well. So beware and be warned. All right. Well, this has been the Cessna 180 Backcountry. If you haven't already done so, folks, please like and subscribe, join the channel, join our Discord, and subscribe to our newsletter. We would love to have you along for that part of the journey as well. I'm going to leave it here. I do hope everybody is keeping well. And until next time, folks, cheers, y'all.